You've heard the questions. How was your trip to Africa? As if it's a single tiny village. You've seen the pictures. The same dusty landscape, the same starving children, the same trees. Some people genuinely think we all live in huts and sleep on branches. Unbelievable, isn't it? But the most appalling part is that there are those who, to this very day, refuse to do the research. They refuse to look at the world, to find out what is truly happening, and to learn the story that is right in front of them. Let's be clear, this isn't just ignorance. This is the greatest propaganda campaign in history. And today, we are ending it. First, the basic fact they seem to forget. Africa is not a country. It is a continent. A vast, monumental continent. Look at this. You can fit the United States, China, India, and all of Europe inside the borders of Africa, and still have room left over. It is home to 54 sovereign countries. Yes, you heard that right. 54 sovereign nations, each with its own government, its own culture, and its own story. We are talking over 2,000 languages and every ecosystem imaginable on this planet. From the frozen peaks of Mount Kilimanjaro to the sprawling Sahara Desert, from metropolitan cities to rainforests and pristine beaches. To call this a single country is not just wrong, it's insulting. Now let's talk about the history they never taught you. While parts of Europe were in their so-called dark ages, African civilizations were at their peak. They want you to think we were waiting in the trees for salvation. The truth is, we were building it. In Mali, the University of Timbuktu was a global center of learning, with scholars debating law, medicine, and astronomy, its libraries overflowing with manuscripts, while London was a disease-ridden mudhole. In what is now Nigeria, the Benin Kingdom built walls that were the world's largest earthwork, longer than the Great Wall of China. Their artists created the Benin bronzes, masterpieces so refined, Europeans couldn't believe they were made by savages. In Egypt and Sudan, the pharaohs of Kemet and the kings of Kush built pyramids that still defy engineering. In Zimbabwe, a mighty empire built a stone city that became a trade hub for gold and ivory. Sleeping in trees? We were building empires in stone, bronze, and gold. We were trading with the world. We were writing the books they would later burn. But this isn't just about ancient history. The lie continues today. The single story of Africa is one of poverty, war, and safaris. It's a convenient story, a lazy story, and it is a complete fabrication. This is Africa today. This is Lagos, Nigeria, a bustling megacity with a GDP larger than that of many European nations. This is Silicon Savannah in Nairobi, Kenya, where tech innovators are building the future. This is Nollywood, the Nigerian film industry, which produces more movies annually than Hollywood. We have fashion capitals. We have billion-dollar tech startups. We have architects, astronauts, and artists shaping global culture. The narrative of a helpless, primitive continent is not just outdated. It is a deliberate tool of control. So why? Why does this lie persist with such stubborn force? The answer is simple. Power. It is easier to exploit a country of primitive people than it is to acknowledge a continent of 54 powerful, sovereign nations. It is easier to steal resources from a dark continent, waiting for a savior, than from a land of proud, organized kingdoms with their own armies and economies. The myth of the uncivilized African was created to justify the slave trade. We are taking these people for their own good. The myth of the empty, leaderless land was created to justify colonization. We are here to bring order. And today, the myth of the corrupt, helpless nation is used to justify neocolonialism and economic control. They called us a threat, then they made us a joke. It is the ultimate psychological warfare. The story of Africa is not a single story. It is a billion stories. It is the story of pharaohs and fintech CEOs, of ancient goddesses and modern activists. It is a story of resilience, innovation, and unparalleled diversity. The education starts now. It starts with you. Share this video with someone who needs to hear this. Correct your friends. Challenge the media. Unlearn the lies. This is not just about geography. It is about justice. It is about reclaiming a narrative that was stolen from us. We are not a country. We are a continent. And our story is just beginning. Listen. Africa was invaded. Africa was violated. Africa was deprived. Imagine what you would do to someone who comes into your house, who violates your space, and takes your family hostage. It is not so easy to forget and forgive. But guess what? Africa wants to forget. Africa wants to forgive. And as a fact, Africa has forgiven. But Africa needs space. Space to breathe, to recalibrate, to pick up the pieces. And is that so much to ask from the oppressors? Africa just wants to live, to rear its babies, to feed them, to bless them, to nurture them. Africa just wants to sing sweet melodies to her children, and not the sounds of bombs, Kalashnikovs, or sirens. They said we were naive to be colonized, but what they called naivety was simply a different kind of power. We were not poor, we were rich beyond measures. We felt no need for advanced weapons, because to us, that was the true barbarism. We were clothed by the forests and sheltered by the sun, but you could call us savage. If by savage, you mean connected to the earth, if you mean living in harmony, not in conquest, in its truest, most ancient form, then yes, ours was a different beauty. All we knew was to love and to share. We did not need to be invaded to share our resources. We would have gladly given, because generosity is not a weakness. It is the highest form of strength. It is the power we hold as the original humanity, the power to nurture and to heal, the power to give from a source that never runs dry. They came with guns and a hunger to take. We were a people with open hands and full hearts. Do not mistake our peace for passivity. Do not mistake our harmony for a lack of power. Our wealth was beyond their measures, and our spirit is beyond their conquest. This is our truth. This is our recalibration. Subscribe to Newspaper Tales. The story is just beginning. Let's heal the world together. And hey, guess what? Africa loves visitors, but visitors with clear spirits. So, welcome. Subscribe now to Newspaper Tales. Because this is just the beginning of our recalibration. Let's heal the world together.
Africa has the power to heal the world. If only, just if only, the world out there would help it heal.